Hello everyone and welcome to another timeless video. So today we're going to be taking a look at Samwise Soultrader combo deck in timeless format. So we're going to be comboing off with a Soultrader using the Samwise Gamgee in this deck. But I wanted to try a couple of new cards that are coming in here from the Alchemy set and the Bloomburrow. And they are Tasteful Offering and Igra Eater of All. I think the Tasteful Offering is pretty sick in this deck because you have a lot of ways to sacrifice. You have the Gilded Goose, you have the Samwise Gamgee, you have the Warren Soultrader, and you also have 4 copies of Birthing Ritual. So we got a lot of ways of actually sacrificing in this deck, and that is going to net you 2 more cards as a result with the Tasteful Offering. And the other card is Igra Eater Ball. So this deck is going to have 2 different ways of comboing. You have the usual suspect with the Warren Soultrader, Cauldron Familiar, and Samwise Gamgee in the deck. But let's say if getting these cards down is kind of getting difficult because opponent has just infinite removal spells, things like that, and you happen to see that you have 2 copies of Cauldron Familiar in the graveyard. Well, you could play Igra Eater Ball from your hand or using Court of Calling, and even without the Soultrader combo with the Samwise Gamgee, you could sacrifice a food token into putting the Cauldron Familiar down on the battlefield, and then you have an infinite loop since the other Cauldron Familiar is going to see that the Cauldron Familiar on the battlefield is a food because of Igra, and then you can keep looping this for infinite drain. So having said that, I'm going to be hopping over to some Timeless Whistle 3 to show you guys how that does. So let's hop on over. Looks very good actually. Shaman, Birthing Ritual, Cauldron Familiar. Boros Energy. Probably Mardu actually. Very annoying. Because I wanted to go Birthing Ritual next. Darn. Actually kind of complicating things quite a bit here. When there's always also the pride, I never have Orcish Bowmaster, unfortunately.
Nothing is more important than family.
Yeah, I rarely have Orcish Bowmaster. I mean, at least we're playing a combo deck, so we still have a chance of winning. Warren Soultrader. That doesn't really work. I guess we just Birthing Ritual. Into a Marionette. Play the Samwise, so I think we just win next turn if they don't have a removal spell. If the last card is not a removal spell, we win the game. Kinda hoping it's not. It doesn't seem like they have it. You know what I think they have? Are they really gonna make me do this? No way, right? I mean, I guess it's their loss. Yeah, I guess it's their loss. Yeah, imagine if the Tasteful Offering was an instant speed. That would be sick. We got a Sun Cleanser, we got Source of Plowshare, maybe a Scavenging Ooze, and a copy of Unlicensed Hearse. Not sure about Haywire Might, but I'm gonna go down on some copies of a Cauldron Familiar, Gilded Goose, or Samwise Gamgee, Tasteful Offering. So probably something like that. We are bringing a lot of stuff here. We are. So we might actually have to go down on Igra. And probably a copy of a Jet Collector, to be fair. I think this is keepable. Just because we have an Orcish Bowmaster. They always have it, you know? They always have it. Double. Might actually have to double block the Oslo Pride here. We'll see. It just kind of depends on what they play. Like, do they have a Bowmaster as well? It does seem like they do. Is it okay to give them a Bowmaster? Not sure. Probably not. It's either like a removal spell or a Bowmaster. Is what I thought it would be. Ooh, Goblin Bombardment. That's actually pretty insane here. Making it a bit difficult. Soars to Plowshare. Yeah, this is a bit rough, isn't it? The Goblin Bombardment. Hitting that off of a Amped Raptor. Very lucky. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be able to get any grounds anymore. I mean, I do think our cyber plan was okay. We just need to draw into these. Ooh, come on. Feels bad. I think we just have to run out the Sun Cleanser, hoping that they actually don't have a removal spell for the Skilled Goose. But whenever I mulligan and I keep a 1-under, they always try to bolt the bird. Monkey. This is not very good. I think we're dead, right?
Teamwork triumphs.
Okay, GG's, opponent, GG's. Yikes. Seems like a show and tell. Okay, that's a good sign. So next turn we win the game. Actually, we would need a lot of lands though. So let's see. Let's say they crack that. Play the Samwise. Play the Cauldron Familiar. Can I Court Calling for 3? I'm gonna say no, probably. Oh, they already have it? One turn away from winning. But they're playing the version with the Dark Ritual. Yep. We were very close to winning there. But just a turn too slow. Just a turn too slow. Try something like this. Hopefully that's enough hate. Ley lines. It's a pretty bad one. That was definitely a mediocre one. For sure. Assemble the team. Man, we're drawing a lot of lands, aren't we? Let's attack. And then leave up a cord. So we got a Samwise Gamgee. Or is it better to go Orcish Bowmaster because I can quarter for 2, but I guess this works out. We can cord next turn. No show and tells there. Yeah, that is definitely not what I wanted to see. Soultrader, so we win the game, right? Just to speed things up. Okay, that was pretty good. I'm actually gonna have a Haywire Might as well. Haywire Might. Instead of maybe Gilded Goose. A lot of hates. That's what I like to see. Man, they actually really love that card. Ooh, Birthing Ritual. Birthing Ritual, you say? I think we just go Samwise Gamgee. Hopefully we draw land next turn. Nice. If I quote up calling for 1, does that work? Get the Cauldron Familiar out. One, two, three. Then we have 2 mana, and then we Birthing Ritual. Oh, I just almost made a mistake. Wait, that doesn't work. Yeah, that doesn't work. If that's the case, I'll just play a Boromir and then just do the combo later. Oh, it seems like they have a surgical. You see the stop? Demonic Tutor. So can I win? I still don't think I can because I didn't do Court of Calling last turn. I could try to win here with the Birthing Ritual into Court of Calling. If I get one or the other, like, we're gonna be able to win here, right? So attack with this. Let's see what we get with this birthing ritual. We got Soultrader, right? Then we do 1. And since we have 3 foods, they're not going to be able to surgical this, even if they have 2 copies of surgical. They would need 3 copies. Yeah, they would need 3 copies of surgical in hand, ready to go. Bum bum bum. Doesn't seem like they have a surgical on their copy of it. Wow. So even in game 1, we almost won. Had they not have the win on turn 2. This one's pretty slow, I would say. This hand's a bit slow. This one looks a bit okay. I was thinking about maybe keeping 2 copies of Court of Calling, but I was like, if it's Dimir Tempo, then every creature that we play is gonna get removed anyway, so Court of Calling is gonna be bad. Okay, at least that's a good sign. No Fatal Push in hand.
If you need me, I'll be in the library.
I mean, why did they pass? Why did my opponent pass there? If you have a Brainstorm, you should have used it. Yeah, if you had a Brainstorm, you should have definitely used it there. Doesn't seem like they have it, though. Fatal Push. I mean... Okay. Let's just play out our Igra here. That is a gigantic monster. If we can somehow put the Cauldron Familiar in the graveyard, we actually win the game here. Really? You're gonna tap out?
I'd love to hear stories from your home. Think before you act.
Get a Soul Cauldron out. Or we could get a Jet Collector out. Might have actually messed up. Yeah. I think I've actually messed up. I forgot that the Jet Collector requires another 1 mana. Right? So I would need... I need to actually play the Chord of Calling before combat, so we get another Mox Jet into our hand, and then we could have actually grabbed a Marionette, so... I wasn't really thinking what I should get with the Chord of Calling before attacking, so... That's what happened there. So we're gonna want Juggernauts. Maybe Swords. And a Nose. So, Gilded Goose, Cauldron Familiar, Samai's Gamgee. Igora was really, really nice there, but that only happened because opponent didn't have a removal spell for the Deathray Shaman. Gonna go down like so. 2 more. I think I'm just gonna cut 1 copy of Juggernaut. I'll just bring 1 copy of Swords. I don't think it's too necessary. Can I get a black source off of this Surveil land? That is a question. Thoughtseize. That's an interesting choice. They must have a lot of counter spells. I'll keep that one.
This is an interesting story.
Okay. Instant Fatal Push. We're gonna need to find a black source very, very fast.
No! I'm late for class!
Any black source? We do play 16 copies of black source.
Protect this library with my life. Respect the library.
There we go. Do. Darn. No, thank you.
I am not defenseless.
So they're gonna ultimate in 2 turns. I wonder if I should actually do this and then play the Cauldron Familiar out. That's probably for the better, right? We have more chance of looks with this play. Ooh, we got a Samwise Gamgee. So they can minus. to get back a Fatal Push.
I never
And they
forget a
probably want to kill the
fictional
Warren.
story.
They definitely want to kill the Warren here. And then they play the Loris. We might actually be able to win here. We don't really care about Tamio anymore. I mean, I guess they can just get back another Fatal Push if they want to. Definitely have a potential of winning here. Another Warren. Bowmaster? Bowmaster is pretty good. I could have also grabbed an Ooze. But I just want to create more dudes at the moment. And I have a Marionette, so... Toxic Deluge. What? Opponent, you're dead. What are you doing? What? Maybe it was a sign of, hey, I lost the game, so... That's just suicide. Wouldn't keep this hand if I wasn't going first. I wonder if I should just do this. Do this now. Nice. Turns 2 of these lands into a card, especially when we're flooding like this, by the way. Whatever. Whatever. We have so many lands, so... Not too big of a deal.
This is an interesting story.
Bum bum bum. So... Tamio's gonna transform no matter what, right? Because my Orcish Bowmaster is gonna go on stack first. So my Orcish Bowmaster pings are gonna go on stack first. And then Tamio is gonna transform. So I'm not gonna be able to kill this Tamio here. See, look.
Every player has stories to share.
We might be able to just win with the Igra. If opponent's not prepared.
You Choose your words.
Yeah, if they're not prepared for Igra, they might just die. They might die to the Igra. Hmm.
Clearly, you're not here to learn.
I mean, that is a 6/6 that can't really be killed without a fat board wipe. I don't know. Like, even targeted removal spell doesn't really work here. So we are just Cauldron Familiar away from winning the game here.
I am not defenseless.
Unless we won. Yeah, unless we won. But they're gonna put Stifle on top. Hmm.
Ugh, my research is ruined.
Can we win with the Samwise Gamgee here? Can we Takenuma for 2? And then we get a Cauldron Familiar into the graveyard? That could win us the game here. I guess we would need a Soultrader as well. So I guess the Takenuma was a little bit preemptive, but I wanted to do it because of the Stifle. Okay, so what do you do? You're gonna put it there? I could deny them life gain. Yeah, I think we won. I mean, I guess they could have another one. They could have another removal spell. A red removal spell. So they have a Stifle. Okay, they're dead. They play 4 Stifles. My opponent plays 4 Stifles. That is crazy. Okay, we saw a little bit of a power of a Tasteful Offering there, which is cool. Igra is... Every time Igra came down, we actually won the game here. Every single match. So we're gonna want 3 copies of Juggernaut Peddlers. We're also gonna want some Haywires. Purse. I think I just want a copy of the Disruptor Flute. Scavenging Ooze probably as well. Definitely one of these. 2 more cuts. I think I'm actually gonna go down on a copy of a Court of Calling here. And maybe a Disruptor Flute. I'll go down on Tasteful Offering. Going second. Especially. Tasteful Offering is good, but it can definitely feel a little bit clunky in this fast format. You love to see it. Opponent with the Stifles. Now, I don't know how many Stifles you play. Still. High Noon. Funny thing is, this actually doesn't work because it says each player can't cast. Bring a Cauldron Familiar back from the graveyard onto the battlefield. It's not a cast, you know? It is not a cast. What should I do? I think I should just Birthing Ritual. I don't think I'm gonna be playing this Haywire Might. Ooh, that's actually pretty good. Oh, but that's actually not gonna work, huh? Because of the Birthing Ritual? Oh, man. Kept the Stifles. My opponent kept the Stifles. What should I get? Deathrite Shaman? Or maybe I should put a Cauldron Familiar into the graveyard. Oh, they're desperate. Yep. GG's opponent. Okay, so, today's deck, Soultrader Semi-Scamgy combo deck, was actually pretty nice. We're playing with this new card called Igra Eater Ball. I've actually done a combo deck purely using the Igra, like all 4 copies of it, in another video, so if you want to check that out, that is also available. But this one, on the other hand, we're not really trying to win with this card, but you can win with this card. Although we actually didn't see Court of Calling into Igra to Cauldron Familiar loop at all, but I just want to emphasize that that option is there if you are missing Samai's Gamgee, Warren Soultrader, and Cauldron Familiar. Like, this is a 3-card combo, right? But if you just Court of Calling while two copies of a Cauldron Familiar is in the graveyard, right? This could essentially be only a 2-card combo, since the Cauldron Familiars will naturally go into the graveyard. So that is why I think the opportunity cost of playing the Igra in the deck is actually pretty low. That's why I decided to play a copy of it in the deck. And a lot of the cases, like against the show and tell, right? The show and tell, unless they have exactly like 2 copies of Born Upon a Wind in hand, like they're not going to be able to combo through you, because as long as you have like 2 copies of food, in response to opponent casting a Born Upon a Wind, you can Cauldron Familiar onto the battlefield and then start the loop. As long as you have 2 copies of food, even against show and tell with Born Upon a Wind in hand, you can go through that combo as well. So, like, despite this deck looking, you know, a little bit more mid-rangey with a lot of 2-drops, a lot of 3-drops, the deck can surprisingly combo very early into the turns. And I've been really enjoying the Birthing Ritual, honestly. The card is just amazing in this deck. Another thing, let's see. Jet Collector, we haven't really seen it in action too much, but theoretically it should be good, especially in like grindy matchup. Getting a Jet Collector down, get back a Samwise Gamgee, get back a Warren. You can't get back Cauldron Familiar, by the way, because it is going to give you a finality counter, so you gotta watch out for that. Getting back a Marionette is also really good. Getting back Orcish Bowmasters, Deathrite Shamans, like the Jet Collector is really nice in the deck. Alternatively, what you can play instead of Jet Collector, if you really hate Alchemy, like, yes, I just despise Alchemy, there is an alternative which isn't as good. It's actually from the newest set. It is called the Osteomancer Adapt. You can tap it, and until the end of the turn, you may cast a creature spell from the graveyard by foraging in addition to paying their other costs. So you could sacrifice a food token to get back a card, right? And then you can play that card for that turn, and it comes with the finality counter, similar to the Jet Collector. But Jet Collector doesn't require you to tap, and you can also bring back multiple cards per turn. I do think the Jet Collector is just strictly better, and Food Token is, you know, in our deck is a big resource. Having multiple copies of Food Token means that your Cauldron Familiar is not vulnerable to graveyard hates, such as Surgical Extraction from the games that you've seen. Because we had a bunch of food tokens, like even if they did have a Surgical in their hand, it didn't actually do anything against the Cauldron Familiar. So yeah, I would say if I were to play this deck again, I would probably go up on a copy of a Marionette, because I felt like this card was very, very powerful in this deck, especially with the Birthing Ritual. I've often looked at opponents' life total, and I was surprised how low they were, even though I didn't really attack them much. And that's because of Birthing Ritual into Marionette. Like, that combo there is very, very powerful. So I would probably go up on a copy of Marionette and go down on a copy of Tasteful Offering. The Tasteful Offering, I often saw myself like cutting this card a lot after sideboarding, even though it was actually pretty good in one game. But I often felt like it was a little bit slow, especially if you're going second. Maybe it's because I went second a lot today. Let's see how many times I actually went second today. Only 3 times. Only 3 times out of 5. So when I had the Tasteful Offering, when I was going first, especially against a more control-y deck, I was able to get the Tasteful Offering out of the way going first. Like, that's when I felt that the Tasteful Offering was very good. But outside of that, in this deck, because we don't really apply any pressure on turn 1, so for example, like the other Rakdos deck that I played had a Nethergoyf, right? So you could apply some pressure with the Nethergoyf and then play the Tasteful Offering. But in this case, we are playing Gilded Goose and Deathrite Shaman into Tasteful Offering. Like, that doesn't feel good. So going down on Tasteful Offering seems to be probably correct. And if I were to play again, I would play something like this. I was actually cutting a lot of Igra post-sideboard, but I don't know, every time this card came down, I won the game. I mean, it depends on the matchup, right? Like, if you're playing against control deck, if you do land the Igra against the control deck without opponent having any creatures, it's actually pretty hard to get rid of because it says ward, sacrifice of food, right? So you would need a creature plus a removal spell, so it'll be a 2-for-1 at the end of the day. So this card, if it does come down versus them, it's actually pretty devastating. But against like even Show and Tell, for example, like if you do get the 2 copies of Cauldron Familiar into the graveyard and they Show and Tell, you put an Eager down on the battlefield, you could win the game through that as well. So multiple different lines, definitely depends on the matchup. So yeah, that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye-bye.